Please don't judge me, and please remember, I had good intentions. Oh God.
How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. G'day and welcome to a brand new episode of I Tried, where I try things from harebrained ideas that sort of relate to cosplay or costuming or something to do with sewing. Today's episode is I tried to sort donated goods. So let me back it up a bit. About a year ago, I had this harebrained idea that I wanted to start a secondhand crafting shop. Very similar to the Sewing Basket in New South Wales, which, as you know, I adore. I wanted to start one here in Western Australia. I looked into it, I thought, yeah, this is a really good idea, and I started to just go whole hog into it. And to be honest, as soon as I kind of put out into the universe just in my local area that, hey, I'm taking donations for any crafting goods, mostly like fabric and knitting related, people went nuts. So I have collected a lot of donated goods. The problem is that with this economy the way that it is not a good time to start a secondhand crafting shop. Which means for the last year, I've had a room full of donated goods, which I am going to show you. Don't you worry, that's what this whole video is going to be about. Which brings me to another video that is going to be released in the future in about a month and a half time, because I am running a cosplay market here in Western Australia. For those who don't know, the Cosplay Market Convention, as it's sometimes known, is a Queensland-based organisation run by two amazing cosplayers, Nick's Cosplay and Pippachu. I have loved what they've done over the last 2 years, and I have reached out to them multiple times saying, I love your work, keep it up, hey, when you're coming to Western Australia, to the point where I have a room full of stuff that could find new homes to amazing cosplayers and crafters alike, that I just went, enough is enough. Hey, ladies, can I please be the boots on the ground and run a cosplay market in Western Australia? So I've been working with them, mostly Nick's to be fair, in relation to bringing the first cosplay market to Perth. And that is happening on the 24th of May. So watch this space, because that is going to be its own video. And to make it clear, it's not just me selling wares, although I've got a fair amount of stuff in that donated pile. It is going to be vendors of cosplayers from, you know, metropolitan Western Australia. They are all going to be there selling, and other cosplayers coming and buying. We're going to have a cosplay competition. It's going to be a good day. Now, before I show you what I'm going to be sorting today, because not all of it is things that I can take to the cosplay market. There are just some things in there that honestly I don't think that cosplayers are going to be interested in. But before I do that, I want to clarify that everything that I'm selling from my stockpile, all the money is going to charity. I'm not keeping a cent of it, because these are donated items. I would feel so terrible taking any money, commission, whatever from that. This needs to go to a good cause. So I am organising with the cosplay market that anything that gets sold from my table on the day will go towards a local black cockatoo rescue group here in Western Australia, because they're an amazing organisation and do some amazing work. And because I love black cockatoos, especially red-tailed black cockatoos, they are my absolute favourite bird, and they're just, oh, they're so cute, they've got so much personality. And they're native to Western Australia, which makes me very happy. And anything that isn't going to the cosplay market from that room, I'm going to try and find other organisations, not just, you know, Good Sammy's or St. Vincent de Paul or anything like that. It is going to go to local charities who would be able to use that. I know that there, for the knitting side of things, there are groups that do knitting so that they can create blankets for hospice out places and that sort of thing. So I will need to do some research, figure that out, get it to them. Okay, enough with the stalling. Let me show you what I'm working with and what I need to sort through today / this entire weekend. Send help.
Please don't judge me, and please remember, I had good intentions. This is our guest bedroom. This is what I'm dealing with. So there's a bed there, right? And there's more stuff along here. But the thing is the bed actually stops. So this like back wall is from the floor almost up to the ceiling. There's a lot of sorting that I need to go through. There's a lot of different things here. Most of it is fabric and patterns, but there's also books, there's knitting stuff, there's embroidery stuff. Yeah, I need to kind of wade through it all. And some of this is actually Annabelle and Ben's from Annabelle and Ben Antiques that I need to give back to them because they are going to be selling at the market. So there's that. But this is another shot of the mountain of items I need to try and get through. Like, it's taller than me by a head. The camera is now on a tripod so you can see me start to empty this room. However, before I really get into it all, the one thing that I know immediately before I even started was that I have a lot of books. The books are fabulous and most of them are out of print now, but I'm not going to take any of the books because number one, they're heavy, and number two, I don't think cosplayers really want these types of books. There's some really interesting books here, like embroidery techniques, Victorian embroidery techniques, beading and beading motifs, that sort of thing, and like books from the 70s as well, which is hilarious. But I think that cosplayers genuinely aren't interested in that unless you are very specifically making a cosplay that the book can help with. So for example, there's one in there about Victorian pansies and embroidering pansies, and the only thing that I can think of would be like the Sakuzo pansy dress. I mean, that would be perfect for anyone making that cosplay, but considering of how many of those cosplays I've seen, it's very unlikely that there will be a particular person from Perth who is going to the cosplay market who will need that book. So I think that I'm going to leave all the books here. I'm also going to leave anything knitting related. However, I will be taking embroidery hoops and that sort of thing because I've got quite a few of those. And I'm also going to be leaving anything that's cross stitch related. Unless I have room, which I doubt that I will because like mountain of stuff. But Annabelle has sent me a message and said that she is happy to come over, whether that's today or sometime this weekend, hopefully. She can look through and grab what is hers because I think that about a quarter of what's here is actually hers. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move all of the stuff that I know I'm not going to be taking. I'm gonna move those out of the room and into our dining area, I think, so that way at least I've got the space that I can then work through this room and kind of clear it out. And if it means that I have a small amount of stuff in the corner that I'm not taking, that I can make neat, I will be happy. Because I would like to be able to use this room again, because we haven't been able to use this room as a guest room for over a year. So my plan is I'm going to clear this side first because it's very, very minimal, but at least that means that I've got the full width of this room that I can work with if need be. So I'm going to move this out first and then I'm going to start on the bed. So we're just going to slowly work through this and try my hardest to remember that which Annabelle and Ben left. So I've just found this within the donated items, and anyone who may look at this may think, well, it's obviously a toy iron. But no, I don't think this is. I think what this is this is a presser. So when you steam a garment and then you need to press down the garment to basically make like a seam flat, that's what this is. That's really cool. Also in this box, dolls and doll hats. So the rest of this crate is going to go outside. This box is mostly cross stitch,
but it also has some warps in here as well. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Don't think I'll be taking it. I have separated the embroidery thread and also embroidery hoops, so I'll take those. I will have a lot of embroidery hoops, it seems. So that's cool, but let's put this with the other items I'm not taking and put those into the sewing room. We've made it to the bed. Okay, so let's start off with some of the things I know are definitely mine. And then, or rather have been donated to me and not Annabelle and Ben's, because I have a sneaky suspicion that this up here is Annabelle and Ben's. But let's start with what I know has been donated. This is a box filled with laces. Beautiful, beautiful laces. Some of them full bolts. Oh, I think cosplayers are gonna love these. Especially when they can get it on the cheap. Whoop. Almost had a landslide. Okay, let's move this. I think these are Annabelle and Ben's, so I'm gonna move them to their pile. Oh. So I've just found my first lot of wool. That was amongst some of the items. So I think I'll keep this bag in here just in case I see some wool mixed in with fabric again. And then this will go outside as well. An entire bag of wool. I have no idea what this is. What is this? Like what does that do? How does it relate to sewing or embroidery or knitting or crafting? Or what is this? Okay, I think that I'm about halfway through sorting through as like a big kind of macro lens sort of situation here. I'm gonna take a couple minutes to have a break and drink some water because this is heavy work. There is a lot of stuff here. Let me show you kind of how things are looking at the moment in my fabric room, which is where I'm taking everything that I'm anticipating that I'm going to take to the market, but I think I'm going to have to cull that even further. So here is my room. Let me explain what's going on. So we have embroidery stuff down here, 2 sewing machines there. One's a mini, one's a regular. Gonna get Annabelle to test the regular one, make sure it's all in working order, because I would love to be able to sell for like 20 bucks a sewing machine to a new cosplayer so that they've got a reliable, like it's an old, I think, Janome, and those things were built to last. So if it works, happy days. Then I've got like a whole lot of tontine, like a ridiculous amount of tontine that I've collected from different people who've donated them. And then I have like some sort of like bits and pieces like beading and jewelry making and that sort of thing, supplies there. And then over here I've got the fabric. So in the back corner is roughly where I've thrown everything that I know is scraps, because I think having a scrap bin might be fun where people can just take what they want. And then over here, this is what I think is Annabelle and Ben's, but they're gonna have to come through and confirm that. And then over here I've got some trims, a box of trims and goodness. And then over here I've got the patterns, and I've got more patterns in the room that I've got to go through. So there's going to be a lot of patterns, and I have a feeling what I might do is I might do, you know, buy $10 worth of stuff, take a free pattern. Like, there you go, because patterns are aplenty. But yes, I think at this point I'm going to stop, charge my phone, and have a break. Ugh. It's really quite disturbing just to think that all of this could fall on me. It's a real possibility. Oh my goodness me. The door just opened. Oh, this is the closet door. Something fell against it. Okay. Oh, I'm stuck. I have had a rest. I've charged up my phone. So now it is time to continue on before I stop for lunch, because I'm already getting hungry. It's not quite 12 yet, so hopefully I'll get this all done before 12:30, and then I can have a good lunch. I've got Terry to work. We're moving everything that I think is Annabelle and Ben's and putting it to one side so it's easy for them to access. But yeah, let's get cracking. I still have no idea what this is. No idea. Like, I have no idea. Like, it looks like maybe that sits on the table or something. I don't know. New angle now, because this is all we have left. This across the room down to the floor. So we're getting there, and I know that most of these tubs down the bottom are just fabric, so that will be good. So quite honestly, some of the fabric that I've got in here is absolutely gorgeous. So like this is a sequined fabric of blue and green in this beautiful kind of flower design, but it's on velvet. Yay! Look, I have made it. I can actually stand on the side of the bed. More zips. So many zips. I've got so many diamante motifs. I can see the end. Whew. I have finally made it to the last 5 bags that I got as my very first donation. Alright, and I know that all of these are fabric, so I can just put them straight into the other room. And with that, we're done. We sort of have our, oh, I've still got one little box sitting there. That's okay, I'll take it after I finish filming this. No, you know what, let's do it now. Okay, and there we go. The orange room, or our guest room, has been emptied out. It's now functional again. There's still a little bit of stuff around, but that's okay. We can make it work. The reason why I really need to have this empty and I can't just do the sorting in here is number one, because I will need the space once I sort it, but also because of the fact that we are hosting Nick's cosplay for when she comes over for the cosplay market, and this is going to be her room. So I needed to make sure that, you know, there was no avalanche. And of course, everything was gone through and we figure out what we're taking. So now that I have separated everything into different groupings, so we've got fabric, like a big pile of fabric, I'll show you in a moment, patterns, so many patterns, and then like crafting and like lace and trims and beading and thread, all of that stuff. So kind of like bits and bobs. So I've separated into all of that. Now I need to go through and separate it further to make sure that I have a good idea of how I'm going to be selling these items at the cosplay market. And I need to price everything, which I haven't figured out how I'm going to do that. But I have also separated everything that I think is Annabelle and Ben's. So they can come, have a look, make sure everything that is there is theirs. And if there's anything else that is in that room that is theirs, they can take it as well. But I'm pretty sure I've got everything. Pretty sure. Let me show you. So firstly, this here is a pile of books, cross-stitching embroidery stuff, stenciling, quilt making, like all of that is down here, and wools in the back. So all of this is not coming to the cosplay market. I will need to find other homes for this. Then in our little walkway to our bathroom and the back toilet is all of this. This is what I think is Annabelle and Ben's. So Terry moved that there, so it's kind of out of our way. But it also means that we can't use our back loo or have a bath, because I may want a bath tonight. But yeah, they're not coming until Sunday now, and that is 2 days away. And then, ta-da! Let me turn on the light. There we go. So this is everything that I now need to sort through and price. Oh God. So let me walk you through. Over here, we've got the lace and the trims and all of that. We then move into kind of the sewing machines over there, thread down here, and then bits and bobs like zippers and that sort of thing here. That is the tontine wool at the back there. I've got so much tontine, I don't understand. Then we have lots of fabric. Can't even get it all in shot. And in the back kind of area is the stuff that I know is going to be scraps. So with the scraps, I need to figure out how I'm going to do that. Because I do want to sell scraps, but they've got to be decently sized scraps. And it's going to be really, really cheap and just basically, here's a quick fit. If someone wants it, go nuts. And then over here, we have all the patterns. So we've got, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-ish boxes and big bags of patterns. Yeah, that's a lot of patterns. So basically I'm going to stop, have some lunch, and then I am going to try and devise a plan of attack. I think I might start with the patterns first because I think that is going to be the easiest. Yeah, I think, I don't know what I think. It's a lot. I bit off more than I can chew, that's for sure. Cool, fun, great, can't wait. So it's later in the day, and I think what I'm going to do is I am going to start with the patterns and try and sort them out. So what I'm thinking about doing is I'm going to sort them into women's, plus size, and then men's, or I don't know. I'm gonna see what I've got and then kind of sort them out, and then it's a case of labeling them. I don't quite know how I'm going to do this. Ideally I would only want to use like 3 boxes, but they're all absolutely jammed packed with stuff. So I might even end up emptying out one of the big containers and essentially have the patterns inside the big containers, and maybe I can have them on the floor or something. I'm not sure, with a little sign saying with every purchase of $5 or more or $10 or more or something like that, get a free pattern. And like sell them individually for, I don't know, 50 cents or something. But yeah, I think I will take these back into the orange room to like spread out, sort out, and kind of put them all together in different types. That sounds like a resemblance of a plan, right? So I'm back in the orange room. At the first bag, I'm going to start making piles. Oh look, more books. Okay, I need to put those with the books. Alright. Oh, there's some vintage patterns here as well. My golly gosh. Okay, I think I'm going to have to keep a separate one for the vintage patterns because, like, they're amazing. Look at this. This is a vintage pattern from the 1960s. That's crazy. Basically, if it is 80s or later, it's going straight into this pile over here. Okay, that's bag number 1. Box number 2, and I think this is one that I've previously sorted out. These are children's. Where am I going to put children's? I think I'll put children's over there for time being. So all of these are plus size, I believe. We've got another one that's a little bit of a mix. These are definitely plus size as well. Alright, that's 3 down. Here is number 4, the last one that I did semi-organize at some point. And I think that these are just all your average sizing. All of them have basically been female presenting patterns so far. So, yes, interesting. Okay, so that's about halfway. Let's go and get one of the boxes I didn't pack. Oh, we've got a men's pattern, finally. Alright, let's tell you what. I'm just going to put all the men's ones together for now. I can't seem to find the size on this one, so I'm just going to say that's any size, because maybe there's just all the sizes in there. Whoever this belonged to, they like to have a whole lot of different sizes available to them, that's for sure. Men's boxes. Ooh. I love that this one has, I thought they were love hearts, but they look more like candy. It's a candy print. Alright, another one. I've just opened up the 5th box out of 5th or 6th, second last box, and it all looks like it's vintage patterns. Alright, let's have a look. Look at this men's pattern. It's like, hi, I drive race cars. Oh, that's stunning. Look at that. It's a 1950s dress. Just gorgeous. Alright, that's going into the proper vintage. This one is even older by the looks of things. Vintage kids. Like, look how cute these vintage children's patterns are. This is, will you? It's got a deer on it. Look at it. It's so cute. I think I love like the kids ones more than I love the adults ones. I love that this company is called Knitwit. And this one is ladies' petticoats and panties. Oh wow. Look at the panties. Look, it's more animal themes. Still so very cute. It's very Lolita-esque, which makes me sad that it's not like in adult size. More kids. Oh look, this, it's a sailor's outfit. That would have come in handy for Donald Duck if it was in, you know, an adult size. The really interesting thing about vintage patterns is that when it says a size 14 or 16, that is not the same sizing as today's 14 and 16. So for example, this one is a size 14 here, and it's saying the bust is 92 centimeters or 36 inches. No. And I like that someone's written, you know, where it said Miss, they've written Karen. I'm guessing they were making it for someone called Karen, but that has different connotations today. And last but not least, we have this box. Oh, first one I pull out is dolls. Kids, 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 kids. Was this like kid pile? Did I sort this out and put it in kids? Like, is there only kids and decor in this? Ah, here we are. Here's all the men's stuff. Yes, so I must have done this box with the men's and the kids and the decor and that sort of thing. So that makes sense, at least in my head. Here is the majority of the patterns. So we've got plus size here, we've got like regular sizing here, basically 6 through to about 12, 14. That's kind of the general rule. And then this one in the middle is basically mid-sizing or all sizes or one size fits all. So pretty even actually. I'm pretty happy with that. I've got a few vintage ones up there that are very delicate, so I'm keeping those to the side for the time being. Then over here, that stack there is for children. And then in this box, I have men's stuff mixed in with like dog and dolls and that sort of thing, and like curtains. So, all right. So now what I need to do is I need to figure out how I'm going to showcase these, because there's a lot of them. And ideally I would want long, shallow boxes to put them in so that you can like go through them quickly. But I don't know. I don't think I've got any of those from memory. Oh, wait, I do. In the shed. Oh my goodness. Okay, I need to go get them and hopefully it's gonna work. Okay, so I've got 4 of these, and for some reason I thought they were twice as long as what they currently are. But let's just see. Let's see how many I can fit into these. If I do like 2 double rows and really fit them in. I mean, worst case scenario, maybe I'll be able to fit all of the kind of plus size ones in these types of containers, and then it'll just be a case of like rotating them or something and then figuring out what I'm going to do with the rest. I mean, I do have these ones, the 3 of these plastic tub ones. They're just a little bit hard to like access. Alright, I've got to start somewhere, right? Let's just start. So some good news, I actually managed to get all of the mid-size patterns into 2 of these containers. So that's really cool. I'm thinking what I'll do, just looking at how much there is, I think that I'll use the other 2 for the plus size, and then the regular size I will do, I hate saying regular size, like the smaller sizes, let's just call it that. I'm going to use the boxes, I think, the clear boxes, and we'll do it that way because there's just more of them. So if I do 2 of the clear boxes for that, then it will leave me 1 more clear box for the men's, the kids. I might even use like another box for the animals and dolls and stuff, because why not? Okay, it's formulating. The plan is formulating. Let's do this. There we go. Plus size, all in there. It's tight, but they're in there. Alright, cool. So, what's left is this. Okay, cool. I'm feeling really positive about this. Okay, there is the smaller sizes. Got one more of those left, and I think that that will fit the kids' ones quite comfortably. So, sure, let's do that. Out of all the patterns, this is the amount of patterns that I have for men or male presenting individuals. That's it, literally a handful. Okay, so kids are all in here, which leaves me this. I mean, I do have one more of those containers out in the shed. It's got some Christmas stuff in it, but I could like remove it. Yeah, let's do that. Here are the patterns. So 8 boxes in total. Yeah, just what I started with. How about that? But we have the 2 plus size, the 2 mid size, the 2 smaller sizes, kids and babies, and then men's dolls, toys, pets, home door, misc. Everything else. So they look really nice, really neat. I still don't know how I am going to display all of these. And of course, it's right at this point in time that Tufta wants me to play with her toy, hence the squeaking in the background. Okay, I'm going to put these away back into the sewing room so that I have this space again. And then I think I might even call it for tonight because it's getting quite late and I am so tired. And I think I need a fresh head to start on the trims and everything tomorrow because I will be pricing those as I go along. And I might need to go to Office Works in the morning to get some sticky labels or something. Good afternoon. It is now Saturday because it's a long weekend as I'm currently filming all of this. And this morning we went out, we got the dogs groomed, and didn't we, Lacey? Yeah, do you want to come on the bed? Can you see her? I don't know if you can see her. But so they are now without all their fur. And they're much cooler, aren't you? Yeah, they are. So whilst the dogs were getting groomed, Terry and I went to a few different shops, including Office Works. So I've got some sticky labels, which I'm cutting down. I got the cheapest that I could get, so that I can use them for pricing. So I've got that, so now I feel good that I can go ahead and begin pricing things. So what I'm going to do is I'm back in the spare room, as you can tell by the fact that the bed is just in frame here. What the next thing I need to do is pull all of the bits and pieces out from the the sewing room and bring them in here, and then Terry has agreed that he's going to help me this afternoon, and we are going to start pricing all of the bits and pieces and kind of bundling them up where it's appropriate. So that's good, that's very good. And we have 2 very energetic helpers who are really bad at helping, but they're a cute distraction. Alright, shall we get all the bits and pieces in here? Okay, should we do that? Yeah? Okay. Alright, so here are all the bits and pieces, and they are somewhat organized, at least as best as I could yesterday when I was moving everything out. So I've got some like patterning stuff over here. I've got like embroidery thread here, more embroidery thread here, and hoops, regular thread and overlocking thread. I have got trims over here, and then I've got random stuff. That's jewelry making supplies. Those in there are mostly buttons. That is a bit of an assortment. That is a bit of an assortment. And then down here we have a whole lot of polyfill. I did have all of the wadding as well that I had with the polyfill, but I've actually moved that out to the quilting stuff, which I'm not taking with me. I believe that there's probably a better home for that. So polyfill is coming, wadding is not. it's also, these are easier to transport than the wadding. I think the first thing I'm going to do is just quickly go through the kind of miscellaneous ones that I've got here, just the last few of them, and just kind of separate them a bit more and see what we've got and figure out what I'm going to do with them, how I'm going to price them, how I'm going to bundle them together, what I'm going to bundle together, all of that stuff. And then Terry's going to help me after lunch. So for context, these are my labels. So they were essentially 3 lots of these make like 1 label. And what I've done is I've just kind of split them into 3. So, you know, 8 becomes, maths is hard, math, brain is not computing at the moment, 24. So in my hand, I've got about 48 of these tags at the moment. So I think that's right. Yes, something like that. So hopefully this will get me through the majority of this, and then I will have more that I can use for the fabric. I'm back from lunch. Now Terry and I are going to get on with organizing all of this. Happy days. Terry didn't want to be on camera. That is fine, not a problem. I appreciate his help. So, okay, let's do this. So a bit of an update time. Terry and I have been working very diligently on this that was on the bed, all the bits and bobs. I think we're probably a little over halfway. It's been about an hour, I think. I've lost all track of time. Hey, I was right. It's been about an hour. Terry just nodded his head. So we are now onto the kind of hard stuff, which is all the lace and ribbons and elastic and that sort of thing. So Terry is being amazing and wrapping up all of the ribbons and lace individually, which is incredible. I'm just going to start working on the elastics and figure out how we're going to price everything. A part of me with the elastics is like, maybe I'll just check them all, maybe put them back into the bag and just be all like, $5, go. But I'm going to check that obviously there is usable lengths, but I reckon another hour and we will have this section done, and then it's just fabrics. But I don't think that we'll do fabrics today. I might start fabrics, but I'm not sure. Watch this space. Happy days! So we have finished all the bits and bobs, and I am so thankful for Terry because he was an absolute champion and wrapped up many meters of lace and ribbons. So thank you, Terry, so very much. And we have consolidated everything into a very manageable load, which I'm so excited about. And hopefully this is a sign of what's going to happen with the fabric. I hope. Please, I hope, because that's the majority of everything. But like, let me show you what it now looks like. So here we have our little condensed version of bits and bobs. So we've got the 3 bags of tontine. We have a box full of zippers. We have 2 bags there that are full of like buttons, and actually that's all thread. This is all buttons and jewelry and like embellishment bits and pieces. And then this one is pretty much all lace and trims, and everything has been priced. And it's really cheap and affordable. So hopefully people will buy it and buy a lot of the things so that they are not brought home. So now with the bits and bobs all sorted and the patterns all sorted, it's just this big chunk in the middle. Yay! So after a bit of a break and thinking about it, I think the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do the fabric not in this room, but instead in the dining room, or my sewing dungeon as Terry calls it. And I've set up the table free of everything, so my sewing machine's on the floor, everything's, you know, off the table, and I have taped down my measuring tape, so that way we can hopefully effectively and quickly measure the fabric roughly before we fold it up, price it,
all of that good stuff. So I've cut out more labels, we're all ready to go. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move some of the boxes of fabric that I've got there out into the main area, and that way we're all set to go for tomorrow morning. So here we are, prepped for tomorrow. There is my measuring tape taped to my table, and then over here we have all of the fabric. Now most of this fabric is going to be sold as like individual lots, but if there is a piece that is under 1 meter, then that will become part of the scrap pile. The scrap pile as it currently stands is still in my sewing room, and what I want to do is I want to create a system where it's fill a bag of scraps, $5, something like that. So yes, hopefully that will work. And here is my scrap pile. So these I know are all scraps. Now my thought here is to get 1 or 2 very large boxes, put all the scraps in, and provide some paper bags that hopefully I can get off Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace for free in the Buy Nothing groups, and have the fill a bag situation going on, because I hate the idea of throwing all of this into landfill, because there's some really lovely fabrics in here. They're just small amounts, and sometimes you only need small amounts for little detail pieces, or if you're making a Hobbit dress or a Hobbit costume, you know. Bilbo's coat, for example. Patchwork. But you know what? For today, I'm done. I'm gonna sit down, have a break, and just chill for a bit because I am so very tired. Good morning and welcome to day 3 of getting ready for the cosplay market. And it is time to tackle the biggest project, which is measuring and pricing all of the main fabric. So here is my plan of attack. I've got all the fabric behind me. I have my measuring tape on the table, as you saw in yesterday's clip. I also have got a trash bag down by my side for fabrics that realistically are disintegrating, are just not in a good quality, have staining, moth holes, that sort of thing. Those fabrics cannot be saved, so they will be going into the trash. Also, if they're like tiny little, tiny scrap pieces that I don't think is worth going into the scrap bin, those will be going into the bin as well. As much as I hate throwing away fabrics that literally cannot serve a purpose, I'm sorry, you're going into the bin. So I've got that. Luckily bin day is tomorrow, so hopefully I can get through most of this and get most of the fabric into the bin that needs to go into the bin. But this is gonna be so much work. Okay, let's just get cracking. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with the boxes first, because if I can consolidate them into the boxes, that's going to be easier to carry. And there is one box down here that is literally falling to pieces and has sharp edges, so I kind of want to throw that away. But yeah, okay. Just have to start. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. The first box is finished and it's taken me an hour and a half, and that box was, some of it was gross. So about a quarter of the fabric was completely unusable and I've had to throw it away. They were like pieces that had been obviously cut out to make cushions, so they really weren't a size or a shape that even for scraps people could use, because it was like a canvas like material. A good chunk of it is folded up. I'll show you in a second that, and I've also got a good smashing, a good helping for the scrap bins, because you know I have a fair amount of fabric already for the scrap bins, but that's fine. So let me show you what I've got so far.
So here is all the fabric that is folded from that first box, and yes, everything has been measured and labeled and marked. There's some really lovely fabrics in here, like this sari fabric is really beautiful, and then these two underneath, which are like, that's like a chiffon, that's a cotton. Just really, really lovely. And this is wool. This is, these two are, this is wool, this is a wool blend. And like, this is 6 meters or something of this blue wool. It's gorgeous. It would have cost a very pretty penny when the first person, whoever bought it, would have bought it. So I'm happy that that will hopefully find a new home. But it is time to start a new box. Terry and I are the dream team. We have done 4 boxes in total. So it is now midday, so we're going to stop, have some lunch, and then get back to it until it's cool enough for Terry to go do some gardening, and then I will be left on my lonesome again. But, you know, we're making progress. We're making progress. I've still got all of that to do, but we've got these 2 boxes full of fabric that has been measured and priced. And we've got another box over here which is almost full, and that is for scrap fabric. I'm gonna have some mac and cheese, my last box of mac and cheese from when I was in America shopping with Rebecca. Cry. So I'm gonna enjoy that, and then I'm gonna get back to it. It's about 3 in the afternoon, and Terry and I have made a severe dent, or more of a dent, into the fabric. I think we're about halfway now. So let me show you what we've done and how much we've got left to go. So over here, firstly, this is our scrap bin. So these are all pieces that are under 1 meter, but are still in a good enough shape and condition that we can, you know, hopefully sell them to people, but like bundled with others of their choosing. Then over here, I've separated them into different containers. So the first box over here, the little one, is all like lightweight, soft fabrics. This box here is anything goes, essentially. This box is all cottons and cotton linen based products. And then this fabric is stretch as well as fancy fabric. So we've got like beaded or embroidered netting underneath that top kind of chiffon. It is chiffon, but it's got a metallic thread running through it, so it's very fancy. I think it's lovely. But yes, and then we've got some knits that are stretched as well, so our ribbing's in there as well. This is how much we've got left to do. We still have all of the bags to do, and we have 2 more large boxes, 1 smaller box, which actually doesn't have a whole lot in it, and these 2 boxes, which I think are mostly scrap anyway. It looks like a lot, but I think, and I hope, that especially these paper bags are going to be able to get through quite quickly. There's only like between 1 and 5 pieces of fabric in each of those brown bags, but I'm probably going to save those to the end because that will be a nice way to just get through it. I've also got another half bag of trash. I have thrown another full bag of trash in the bin. The bin is overflowing. Very happy it's trash day tomorrow. I knew it was going to happen though. So all in all, I'm feeling very positive. It is very labor intensive, but I'm glad that it seems to be working, and people will be able to get very good deals. Like, we've got pieces of fabric that I know would sell normally for about $20 a meter. We've got it for like $2 or $3 a meter. So I'm hoping that people will buy it and buy lots of it so I don't have to bring it home. And the reason why I'm able to keep the prices so low is because these are, once again, all donated fabrics. I don't have any space this time for any of my fabrics, maybe next cosplay market, but all of this is donated fabric, and any money raised is obviously going to go towards charities, so anything's a win. I'm going to have a little bit of a break before I continue because I am very tired. I've been having baths each night because my muscles are that sore. But yes, I am gonna go have a little break and then I'm going to continue. I really want to get all the boxes done today. That is my main goal. I don't think I'm gonna get through all of the bags. As much as I would like this to be over and done with, I just don't see that happening. I think that I'm gonna be working through the bags this week. But I want to get through all the big boxes. It's about an hour later after that last clip, and I still haven't emptied the 2 big boxes. there they are, still untouched. Though I did manage to do the 2 small boxes that were on top and one of the small boxes that was in front of it, which still had a fair amount of fabric in it. But I am so tired, I am so beat. I really want to get these last 2 crates done, or boxes. I don't know, crates, boxes, what are they? Plastic tubs, all of the above. But as a bit of an update, here are what the 4 boxes are currently looking like. I think I need to put the lid on that one and take it away because I think I'm not going to be able to cram any more fabric into that one. So I will create a new one for all the other fabrics to go into. After a bit of a sit down, fed the dogs, did the laundry, went and said hello to Terry, I have taken off the biggest container that was in my collection, or in the collection. I'm so tired, words are hard. And I have dumped all of its contents on the table here. So I am going to start to try to organize this. Yay! Let's go. The table is empty. I got it all measured and priced. Yay! There's like one particular one that like just absolutely not disintegrated, but just it left a whole lot of glitter. So I gotta clean my table. But I'm gonna stop here and have some dinner and relax a little bit. My back is absolutely killing me. This table needs to be a little bit higher, just saying. And then I hopefully will have enough of drive after dinner to finish that one last box. You can do it. The last box sitting in the corner. And Terry is such a sweetheart that he has said that he's going to help me. I think so. Will you help me, Terry? Please? Maybe. I'll give him some food. We'll see what the outcome is after that. It's done. Well, it's not all done. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, but all the boxes are now emptied. That's amazing. Terry's just helped me move an entire large box of cottons that are all measured and price marked into the fabric room. So that is 2 full boxes of fabric that have been measured and marked up. And I've got 3 more boxes. One of them really is almost full as well. Let me show you. Oh, I'm so happy. So here we are. We've got the 3 other boxes. So the lycras and the nets and all the fancy fabrics, that's almost full. I can fit a few more pieces of fabric in that. I've got another very large container for everything else. And then I've got the fine fabric still working on this little box, and I've got another little box there just in case. And of course I've got another one over here for cottons. So over the course of the next week, that's what I need to work on to clear. But I feel like those are going to be smaller amounts than what I was dealing with today with all the boxes that were there. And then it's just a case of figuring out the scrap situation. I still have a very full container over there, which realistically I need to transfer some of that into bags. So many scraps. Okay, that's enough from me this evening. I think I made a really good dent on just everything that I had this weekend. Like, you saw what it was like when I first entered that orange room the very first day. There was stuff absolutely everywhere. Some of it, well, most of it was mixed in together, and now all the patterns are done, all the bits and bobs are done, and we're halfway through sorting the fabric and measuring and marking up the fabric. So scraps is another thing. That's the very last thing. But yeah, I'm feeling accomplished. I reckon by the end of next weekend, hopefully, it will be done. So it is now Sunday, the following Sunday after all those previous clips, and I am feeling very, very tired. I've been coming home most nights and doing more measuring and more labeling, and it's taking its toll. There's a lot of fabric here, a lot of fabric. So basically today I have got a few more bags left to do. I've got 2 large bags left and 7, I think, small bags left to do. I want to knock that out, and then it's just a matter of going through the 3 bags, I think, large bags that I've got in the sewing room, or the fabric room should I say, where I haven't gone through yet and seen if they are big enough pieces to be considered what I consider to be scrap, like what I'm going to be selling with everything else as scrap. So that's what we're going to do. I have finished measuring all of the fabric. I've put all of the boxes that were here in the room, which seems stupid now that I think about it, because that is exactly where I need to be to work out the scrap side of things. So I think I'm going to leave the box that I've got out here that I currently have filled up with the scraps, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to work on the scraps in there in the little room that I have got left. But yay! I did this thing. I've got one final hurdle to do, and I've got some extra bags that I'll go get rid of, but the end is in sight. So right here are the boxes of all the pieces of fabric that I have and I'm going to take to the market that are all over 1 meter. Yay! Oh, this took way too long, but it is good and it is done. So now I'm moving over to this, my goodness me. So those 2 bags at the back, I know are all fine, so I can just put them away. It's just this grouping of bags here that I need to go through and sort to make sure that the pieces are big enough to be considered scrap. So basically they need to be about 40-50 centimeters to, you know, up to 1 meter, and or a decent size, you know. So once I've gone through those, then I will feel good, because then I will be done. There are all the bags that I've managed to collect, so for people making purchases and also for buying the scraps. I think I'm going to do 1 bag for $5, fill it up, because I have a lot and I want it gone. I just want it gone. So my plan of attack for the scraps are these 2 bins, and there's a 3rd bin that I've got still out in my passageway. But these are massive. They usually house my 6 workshop machines. There they are in a line, my brother machines. But I'm going to take them out. I'm leaving them there for the time being. Obviously I'm not selling those. Those are for my workshops, and even though I'm not really doing lots of workshops at the moment, I am not getting rid of those. I've changed clothing so that I'm nice and cool, because this room, it gets very, very hot, and I've had to close the door because Terry is watching some anime and I don't want to disturb him. So I've put 1 of the bags already in there. It's already past half full, guys. This is like the worst part of it all, is that I'm not sure everything's gonna fit, and that stresses me out. So that is 1 tub basically full. Great. I think I can get a little bit more in here, but I think what I'll do is I'll move this to the corner, move those bags out, and begin sorting it that way. That's 1 bag down, and 1, 2, 3, 4 bags left to go. This is pretty much full. Now I don't think I can
really put too much more in, but I am going to try. But yeah, this is going to take some time, but it's okay. It's all right. It's not taking nearly as much time as what the fabric folding and measuring was. I'm just kind of looking at the pieces of fabric, and some of them I have a pretty decent idea of how wide they are and how much they are, just kind of looking at them. But yeah, I am going to turn off the camera though, because it's going to be really boring. All right, I'll see you when all of this is done, hopefully. I am down to my very last bag of scraps. I've got that much space left in my container. Hopefully I can make this work. I'm finished. Yay! Oh, I'm so happy. So this room is honestly feeling much cleaner than what it was at the very start of this whole process when I pulled everything into here. Everything's organized, everything is looking good. Terry took one look of everything and he went, so what's going to the cosplay market? I said, all of it. And he said, it's not going to fit in your car. And I'm like, we're taking your car too. But I didn't even know if we're going to be able to fit it just between the two cars. We might have to make a few runs, which is frustrating. And trying to get it back home, hopefully I'll sell enough that we will be able to fit it into two cars. All, like I said at the start of this, none of the money that is going to be raised from the sales of all of these goods are coming to me. It is all going to charity. And that makes me feel very, very happy because, number one, I do get my house back, which is so exciting. Or hopefully I'll get a fair bit of my house back. I have a feeling I'm still going to have a whole lot left over after the cosplay market. So I'm going to have to see what else is available. There are some charity groups that I want to reach out to, or, you know, not-for-profit organisations who will accept some of the donations as well. But they're very, very particular in what they will accept. So I want to try and find new homes for as much of this as I possibly can. I may also, after the cosplay market, look and see if I can take some of the stuff to a different type of market. There is the craft to stash group that does happen once every couple of months around the Perth metropolitan area, which is not cosplay focused, but it is sewing and crafting focused. So I might see if I can get a table there, and then, you know, on sell whatever doesn't sell at the cosplay market. I think that there are lots of fantastic pieces in here that are going to go for a very, very good price. You know, they're, generally speaking, fabrics are ranging anywhere from $1 to $3 a meter. And that's a really good price. It's a very good price. And we've got a whole range of different fabrics, and I've tried to sort them as much as possible into like-minded fabrics, so when we're putting them out it will be quite easy to keep all the likes together. The scraps are going to be the biggest issue, I think, because there are 3 massive tubs of scraps, and it's going to be trying to convince people to not be afraid to like dig through it. As long as they put everything back into the tubs, I'm fine with it. And it's going to be $5 for the bag. And yeah, I think also if anyone buys any fabric, as long as it's over $5, I'll put it in the bag and they can fill up the rest of the bag as well. So yeah, this feels really good to get this done. And I'm really excited to hopefully be able to give back to the cosplay community and have them have the option to buy fabrics and bits and pieces and patterns, you know, at a much lower rate than what it would cost for them to go and get it elsewhere. Doing my part for the cosplay community here in Western Australia. So I guess with that, what I will say is that if you are in Perth on Saturday the 24th of May, it's coming up soon, 2025, make sure you head to Swan Settlers Markets up in the Swan Valley.
from, I think it's 10 till 4. Yes, 10 to 4 that the market will be running. There'll be a cosplay competition. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. There is going to be so much stuff. We've got an amazing array of vendors who are selling all cosplay related items. I'm very excited. Like I'm super excited, and I do hope that the Perth cosplay community you know, gets behind this and wants to have this again in the future, because you know, I think it's really important that we address the issue of cosplay, that it is a very wasteful hobby, and you know, this is one way that we can help reduce the waste. We can recycle, we can reuse, we can find things new homes, and you know, in the process maybe recoup some of the costs that we spent. And of course, remove cost barriers for entrance into it, because I don't know about you, but if I have a piece of fabric that I only paid $1 for, I'm not going to freak out if I mess up on it, you know. And I think that's really important when you're just starting out. You don't necessarily want to use the expensive fabric because you're afraid you're going to mess up. This way you can use some really lovely fabric, and if you mess up, it's fine. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video, watching me get my guest room back and then sort out so much stuff. I'd like to give a special shout out to my amazing patrons who have been supporting me along the way with this and my other projects, and I would like to extend that massive shout out to my $10 a month tier patrons, who are
Justine Ghosty, Fangirl X, Sam M, Monica, Lulu Alamode, Miss Twisted, Mithril Teacup, Barbara Lee, Trash Guardian Cosplay, Mother of Cats Cosplay, Rogue Threads, and Connie.
Thank you all so much for your kindness and your support. I love you all so very much. And for you at home watching this, thank you for watching this to the end. If you have, in the comments, write loads of fabric, I don't know, let's do that. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and I'll see you all in the very next video.